Greetings from Hilton Head. I thought I would talk a little bit about Palmetto Dunes this month. Last month we kind of talked about the Hilton Head plantation, so I wanted to go back to another beach-oriented community, Palmetto Dunes. Palmetto Dunes is very similar to Sea Pines in that it's an oceanfront property. It has a resort operations, has a mix of full-time residents and part-time residents and rental properties. And has a good, strong amenity set. Palmetto Dunes is located a little bit more mid-island, a little smaller than Sea Pines and also developed a little bit later. It has 3 miles of beach access compared to Sea Pines 5, so just to give you a perspective in terms of sizing. Palmetto Dunes is kind of made up of 3 or 4 distinct sub-communities or areas within the community itself. There is an area over by Shelter Cove, which most people maybe don't even think that it belongs to Palmetto Dunes, but it is, and people in Shelter Cove have access to the Palmetto Dunes beach. It's mostly condos over there. A large percentage of them are not available for rental, but some are. Then if you come over on the other side of 278 towards the ocean, there is a subset or another sub-area of Palmetto Dunes called Leamington. In Leamington properties, all the single-family homes, none of the single-family homes can be rented on the short-term rental market, and most of their villa complexes that are on the water cannot. There are a few at the very south end of Palmetto Dunes and technically in Leamington, but inside or not within the gate, not inside the gates of Leamington. They do allow short-term rentals there. So we have Shelter Cove, we have Leamington, and then the rest of Palmetto Dunes is either called the Mariners side or the Inverness side. The Mariners side would be the most north end of Palmetto Dunes, and the Inverness the more southern end. Palmetto Dunes has a couple different hotels in the, I have a new kitten, I'm sorry, a couple of different hotels that operate within the resort. One is the Marriott, the other is the Omni Hilton. There are 3 golf courses in Palmetto Dunes, Arthur Hills, Robert Trent Jones, and Fazio. And there are different membership options available depending on if you're full-time or part-time resident or non-resident, that sort of thing. Sorry about that. Their tennis program is very active in Palmetto Dunes. You can buy into that. The pickleball program, which is growing everywhere, is very, very well developed in Palmetto Dunes as well. One of the things that makes Palmetto Dunes unique is that they have a lagoon, 11-mile lagoon system where you can take a flat-bottom electric boat on it. So there are properties that have a little dock and back onto the lagoon system, which is it's nice and very pleasant. I didn't give you the POA fees for Palmetto Dunes. The Mariners and Inverness side was about $1,900 a year right now. On the Shelter Cove side, let me see what that is, $1,222. And Leamington is $3,232. Palmetto Dunes, when you buy a property in there, there is a transfer fee. It's 0.5% of the purchase price. So that's something just to factor into the initial cash outlay. The beach club, if you will, or they have a structure called the Dunes House. It's been there for a while. They do have some plans to replace that in time, but that's not actively scheduled at this point. But it's a nice gathering point for residents. It gives you easy beach access. There are some bike paths that are nicely developed, and there's been some recent expansion of those, which is great in Palmetto Dunes. So that's kind of it from an overview perspective. There's some restaurants too. Alexander's is one. Of course, the 2 hotels have restaurants. There's a general store, there's bike rental, there's kind of the similar things that you would need from an amenity perspective that you find in Sea Pines, you find in Palmetto Dunes. The biggest difference is Palmetto Dunes is a little smaller. It's located mid-island. And then they have the 11-mile lagoon system. That's a differentiator. Hope this is helpful. Hope you're doing well. See you soon. Bye.